dedicating this volleyball season to him, and just that I'm going to make him proud and go out there and just ball out. I was working an internship to obviously graduate from my degree for school, and I remember the first time I got a call from my brother-in-law saying that he needed me to get back to the house, that he needed help, that my dad had been just laying out in the grass for who knows how long just with our 2 dogs. A couple weeks later, maybe a month later, my dad had ended up falling and busting open the right side of his head. That moment then was really when it started going downhill. It just was kind of this trickling effect all throughout the summer. After that, my dad had went basically completely paralyzed on his whole right side of his body. He couldn't hold things. At that point, we had to start helping him with just the everyday basic things a human being needs to do. It took me and my 2 middle sisters and my mom to help pick my dad up, to take him to do literally anything in the house. My dad, throughout that summer, it just was going downhill. Didn't have much of his mind at all, but one of the things that I'll never take for granted is that the 3 words that my dad was sure that he could always say to us girls is that he loved us. And even though I wasn't able to have the conversations I wanted to have with my dad and just be able to talk to him every day, I always made sure I told him I loved him, and he always made sure he told me he loved me back. And it was the Friday night before his passing. I remember we kind of had this little moment where we thought it was his time, and at that moment, I just remember dropping to my knees and just praying because I wasn't sure what was going on. And I just knew the only thing that I knew that I needed to do at that moment was to be present with my family, but also just pray, because that was the only thing that I knew could heal my dad or just help with the situation, because prayer had been so powerful and meaningful to me and my family for so long for my dad. And I remember the next morning, I had gotten a call from my mom, and that morning, wee hours of the morning, my dad had aspirated, and they had called the ER, and they took him to the hospital. And my mom was like, "You need to get with your older sister. They're coming to pick you up. Dad has probably a couple hours left." And I obviously was freaking out because I was like, "What in the heck is going on?" Like, he was fine last night. I just remember walking in, and the image that I have of my dad the last time I saw him in my head, it's not something that, like, it's not the image you want to see of your parent in their last hours. I just remember him, obviously, once we got there, they took off the oxygen mask, and about a couple minutes after that, he seemed very comfortable and just at peace. And I remember just telling him then that I was going to make him proud, and just that I obviously love him, and that I'm dedicating this volleyball season to him, and just that I want to make him proud and go out there and just ball out. Wrote on the side of my shoes LLJ, which stood for Live Like John. John was obviously my dad, but just the mindset that he had throughout his whole journey was just a little reminder for me that, you know, if my dad can face cancer right in the face and death right in the face, then I can go through anything throughout this volleyball season with a positive mindset and just go out there and give my 110% effort, because he did that throughout his whole journey.
Compared to your junior year, you had 89 more sets played, more than double the matches played, 303 more kills, which is 14 times more,
Yeah.
more than 3 times an increment in kills per set, 768 more attempts, 73 more digs, and a career-high 18-kill game against to beat West Alabama, and then 18 other double-digit kill games. How much of that would you credit to that motivation you had?
I probably would credit all of that to the motivation that I had throughout this volleyball season. Just we always do gratitudes before volleyball games. It's something that I always made sure that I said, or not always said, but said at times, that I just was grateful for my dad and just everything that he taught me throughout the 21 years of life that I had with him. And I just went into this season just wanting to make him proud, and just knowing that no matter what happens throughout this season, that I'm able to go out there and just ball out, and that nothing in life or in volleyball practice games could ever be harder than watching my dad pass away.
Out to Mackenzie Martin, and that'll be the set, 27-25 for Trevecca.
He sets it up for Martin. Martin with a big swing, and the Trojans tying at 15-all.
Mackenzie Martin is really hitting well right now. That's going to be her 4th.
An absolute strike down the center. Mackenzie Martin picks up that kill. It's going to be Martin. What a play. Oh my goodness. Watch this.
I am Mackenzie Martin, and this is my story.